I had seen the videos, the headlines, the promises. Fall asleep in 2 minutes. Guaranteed. They called it the military sleep method, a technique created for soldiers who needed to sleep anywhere, anytime, even under stress. It sounded like myth, a quick fix in a world obsessed with shortcuts. But part of me wondered, what if there is something real behind it? What if the trick isn't about speed, but about teaching the body how to trust rest again? So I decided to test it. 7 days, no supplements, no background music, no fancy gadgets, just me, a bed, and a method that's been circulating for decades. Before I started, I read about its origins. In the 1940s, the US Navy pre-flight school needed pilots who could fall asleep even with adrenaline still racing through their bodies. They developed a sequence to relax the muscles, slow the breathing, and quiet the mind, a ritual that reportedly helped 96% of trainees fall asleep in under 2 minutes after 6 weeks of practice. It wasn't magic. It was conditioning. The body learned what safety felt like and followed that signal. The steps were simple. First, relax your face completely, every tiny muscle around the eyes and mouth. Then drop your shoulders. Let the arms hang heavy. Exhale and soften the chest. Move the relaxation down through your legs, from the thighs to the feet. Finally, clear the mind for 10 seconds. If thoughts keep intruding, imagine lying in a canoe on a still lake, or resting in a dark room where nothing needs your attention. That's all. 6 steps, practiced with patience. I wanted to know whether repetition could really teach my body to rest on command. The first night felt mechanical. I lay there in silence, moving through the checklist. Face, shoulders, chest, legs. But the moment I reached clear the mind, my brain laughed. It filled the quiet with everything I'd ignored during the day: messages, unfinished work, conversations I wished had gone differently. The canoe I was supposed to imagine became a sinking ship of thoughts. After 25 minutes, I finally drifted off. Not exactly 2 minutes, but I noticed something. My muscles had softened in a way they rarely did. My jaw, my neck, my forehead, places I didn't realize were clenched until they let go. That awareness alone felt like progress. Night 2, I changed the routine slightly. I turned off screens half an hour earlier, dimmed the lights, and let my breathing slow before even starting the method. This time, the transition was smoother. I moved through the steps without rushing. By the time I reached the visualization, my thoughts were quieter, more distant. Sleep came in about 15 minutes. Still not miraculous, but definite improvement. The method seemed less about speed and more about teaching patience. By the 3rd night, something inside me started to understand the rhythm. When I exhaled and let my shoulders drop, a subtle heaviness spread through my body, the kind that feels like sinking into warm water. My brain still whispered, but softer now, as if the voice had moved into another room. I pictured the canoe again. Black water, no wind, just gentle rocking under a wide, dark sky. Breath in, breath out. 8 minutes later, I was gone. It wasn't discipline in the military sense. It was repetition. And repetition is a kind of kindness. Each night I was telling my body the same story. It's safe. You can stop now. Around night 4, I started wondering why this was working. So I looked into the science. When you deliberately relax your muscles, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for rest and digests. It lowers heart rate, blood pressure, and cortisol. The long exhale stimulates the vagus nerve, sending a message from body to brain that danger has passed. In other words, relaxation isn't caused by thinking calm thoughts. It's caused by sending physical proof of calm through your breath and muscles. The visualization adds another layer. By focusing on a simple, neutral image, a canoe, a dark room, you occupy the prefrontal cortex, the problem-solving part of the brain. When it has something harmless to hold, it stops chasing new worries. Your mind can fully analyze and visualize at the same time, so one gently replaces the other. Night 5 reminded me that progress is never linear. Stress came back, caffeine, deadlines, the usual storm. My heart was still fast when I went to bed. I tried the method, but my body resisted. Every muscle wanted to stay on alert. It took half an hour before I drifted off. But then, something had changed. Instead of frustration, there was patience. I knew that even if I couldn't force sleep, I was still helping my system slow down. That's the quiet victory of this practice. It gives you a tool for peace, even when sleep doesn't come quickly. By the 6th night, the steps felt automatic. The moment I lay down, my body started the sequence on its own pace. Shoulders, chest, legs. Each exhale was familiar. I didn't even reach the visualization. My body recognized the cue and let go. The next morning, I woke before my alarm. Clear, rested, and strangely grateful. Not because I'd hacked sleep, but because I'd learned how to meet it halfway. Night 7 felt different from the start. I wasn't testing the method anymore. I was practicing trust. There was no pressure to fall asleep fast. I simply followed the rhythm, knowing my body would do the rest. I don't remember the moment I drifted off, only the feeling of being weightless, unguarded, whole. When the week ended, I looked back at the notes I'd been keeping. The average time it took me to fall asleep had dropped from 25 minutes to about 8, but the deeper change wasn't in numbers. It was in my relationship with rest. I had stopped treating sleep like a goal to win and started treating it like a friend who arrives when the room is finally quiet enough. Here's what 7 days taught me. First, the body learns through repetition. When you repeat a sequence, any sequence before sleep, your nervous system begins to link those actions to safety. That's why rituals matter more than hacks. Second, you can't think your way into relaxation. You must feel it, physically, through breath and muscle release. Third, visualization isn't childish. It's neurological redirection. When you give the mind a soft image, you remove fuel from the fires of worry. The military sleep method isn't a cure-all. It won't erase caffeine, anxiety, or noise. But it is a reminder that your body already knows the path to sleep. You just have to stop blocking the trail. There's another part people rarely mention. Trust. For soldiers, the method worked because they practiced it even when it didn't work. They kept sending the same signal until the body stopped questioning it. Trust is built the same way. The body trusts consistency. Each night this week, when I began the sequence, I imagined I was writing the same gentle sentence across my nervous system. You are safe now. At first, the body doubted it. Then, slowly, it began to believe. It made me think about how often we chase sleep through force pills, screens, exhaustion. But sleep is a conversation, not a command. You speak through your habits. Your body replies through calm. When you demand, it resists. When you invite, it accepts. That is what the military sleep method really taught me. Not how to fall asleep in 2 minutes, but how to stop fighting the process entirely. Each breath became a signal, each repetition a rehearsal for peace. If you decide to try it, don't expect fireworks. Expect quiet. Start by dimming the lights and giving yourself 10 minutes without screens. Lie down, release your face, your shoulders, your chest, your legs. Exhale slowly.